Hello there and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be doing a brand kind of focused video. So we are going to be testing out the O.TWO.O makeup brand. You may be familiar with them if you shop a lot on AliExpress. For me, they're one of the more kind of prominent, and I don't want this to sound offensive to like a lot of the other brands on AliExpress, but I consider them to be one of the more like legitimate brands in the same kind of space as I would think of You Can Be, Beauty Glazed, Focalior, even Jude now. So I was contacted by one of their PR team, and they asked if if I'd like to do a video trying out some of their makeup, and of course I said yes. That would be great. So they said that I could pick 5 products, but unfortunately one of the products was out of stock, and it was like a beautiful eyeshadow palette that I'd actually had my eye on for a while. And you know when your fingers just kind of hovering over the add to basket button, well yeah, my finger had done some hovering over the palette, but anyway, it wasn't in stock. So they've sent me these 4 items. We've got a foundation, a blush, we've got a kind of contouring kind of palette, also have a highlighting palette, which I've actually had for a while now, but this is a palette that I really love, definitely up there with some of the finest kind of highlighter formulas that I've ever tried from AliExpress. So I thought it would also be good to kind of bring this into the video. So to begin, we are going to start with the oh my gosh guys, like there's something else I completely forgot. How could I? So I also have a microfiber sponge as well. This is very similar to my Juno sponge. They feel exactly the same. They're both blue. They both have like a kind of hairy feel. The only difference is that the O.TWO.O one has a flat bottom and the Juno one is more egg-shaped. Barely even started the video yet. I effect up twice. I went ahead and wet this one, so this is its kind of wet size. It got a lot bigger, like I'm just gonna say it got a lot bigger. Now that we've covered my feck ups for the day, there'll be more. So we're going to try out the foundation that they sent me. This is the Drop Foundation, and I've got it in the shade number 1. It does claim to be cruelty free. It says you will get an ideal and full coverage from what? Wait, sorry, you know when something just doesn't make sense to you? I was up at 5 this morning and I've not slept well the last couple of nights, but that just made no sense to me, so I'm going to start again. You will get an ideal and full coverage from the old-fashioned pump bottle to the latest dropper bottle. What? Does that make sense to you? That does not make sense to me. But anyway, the matte formulated liquid foundation makeup drops with soft velvety texture leaves you a smoother skin. The liquid foundation makeup drops can help you easily get the optimal coverage by controlling the amount of drops. So instantly this is kind of reminding me of the idea of the NYX, is it the Total Cover Drops? But it's kind of reminding me of that, and also the Cover FX custom enhancer drops that were kind of doing the rounds a while back. Oh, it looks kind of separated. Can you see? It looks really separated. Oh no guys, oh no. I'm gonna shake it. Let's just shake it and hope that everything becomes okay. Now that I've shaken it, it does definitely look smoother, but there's still elements of it that are freaking me out. But the dropper, you know, as we were promised. So I mean, maybe if I just go like this, oh shit, she's dripping all down my chin. That's not the first time. I mean, really guys, yeah, she looks a lot lighter than I was kind of expecting, and she is very kind of a liquidy as well. You know, when other people test out like foundation, they even apply it so neatly, you know, before they blended it, but look at this shit show. I mean, really. But anyway, let's go in with the sponge and we can see how the sponge is. Let's just see. This is your moment, sponge. Don't feck it up. Okay, so here we go. By the way as well, I've tried quite a few foundations from AliExpress. They've all been like very light coverage. I know that in the kind of eastern part of the world, they don't kind of favour a very high coverage look. I mean, I don't know where I'm going with that, but that's just what I've noticed. Okay, so there we go. I mean, I definitely don't think it's super full coverage. I mean, it's going on really nicely. Oh, do you know what? I think Alex is being sick. Let me just go see. Oh, guys, Alex was just really, really sick. He's downstairs with Honeys and Jade. Apparently he had a bit of cucumber and then loads of sick just started coming out. But I think he's okay, so poor little buddy. Obviously, whilst I've been downstairs, this foundation has set and it's definitely got like a velvet kind of look to it, which I really, really like. It feels comfortable on the skin. I don't think it's given me like a whole lot of coverage and it is very matte, but like it's there. Honestly, it looks better in camera than it's actually looking in my mirror over here, and I don't know why that is. Like, I'll never know why that is. But yeah, I mean, I think the shade is great, and like I seem to be quite lucky like recently with shades somehow. But yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit too light, if that's actually a thing for me. Anyway, I think it looks really, really good if you compare it, like, you know, from this side to this side. It doesn't have loads of coverage, but it's taken away, you know, like the redness, and it's just giving it like more of an even tone. Like, I definitely do feel as well, if you did want to have like obviously more coverage, you could like definitely build this up. I don't really understand the dropper. Is that so you could maybe like drop it in and mix with other foundations? We can't really drop it on my skin because I feel like it would deposit like loads of product. So like, is anyone watching trained in droppers that could maybe like give me the 101 about droppers, because I just don't know. The pouncing game. By the way, my Chico is feeling a lot better now, so thank you to everybody for giving me the sympathy that I probably didn't deserve, but thank you. I think I've given myself a nose infection as well from having the audacity to want to change my jewellery. I've had this black hooping for ages, and I thought, oh, do you know what, it's time for a change. I want to change it. Worst decision ever, because I've had nothing but trouble since, and I'm back with the black hoop because apparently nothing else seems to want to stay in my nose. You know what, now it's covering my whole face. I'm feeling a bit ghostly actually, so I do think it's maybe a little bit too light for me, but I mean, I very rarely come across that, so it's not a big deal. It's actually quite a novelty right now. I feel like this foundation goes on beautifully. The one big thing for me right now is it's just very matte. I'm definitely more of a fan of like dewier kind of foundations because I just think they look a little bit more flattering and they're a bit more forgiving on more mature skin. Also, the sponge is identical, like absolutely identical to the O.TWO.O sponge. There's no difference. They feel the same, they look the same. They're both microfiber sponges. I would definitely say if you've been eyeing up the O.TWO.O one and you know that I love this, it's my #1 sponge, I, you know, would definitely recommend getting the O.TWO.O one. I'm definitely going to be buying a few of these because it's exactly the same. And I know that O.TWO.O, I think it's an American company, and they're only like, if you buy outside of America, it can get quite expensive. So I really like this guy. 100% dupe. I mean, really. But I have done my base, or have I? Like, there seems to be like a funny situation happening. Oh, wrong sponge. Oh my gosh, seriously, holy shit, call the sponge police. Right, I'm going back in with this sponge. Okay, does that sorted it? I don't know. Do I just have a red nose today, I think. But I'm having like a quandary here because my face feels very like, it not dry as in dry as in uncomfortable dry, but my skin has that almost kind of, you know, powdered velvety kind of look to it. So I'm a little bit like just reluctant to set it because I don't want everything to look dry, but I'm going to go against my better judgment and I'm just going to set it just in my T-zone. Okay, so I went away and did kind of my eye makeup, and interestingly I didn't set my face because I completely forgot. I just got really, really distracted unfortunately, but I'm going to just set it now, so I think it will be fine. But it's definitely not started to crease or anything. I do find that particularly with very like dewy radiant kind of foundations, they can crease, so I'll get like lines here or, you know, under my eyes or my forehead. But this foundation, it almost seems to be like self-setting in a way. I don't know if I'm just thinking too highly of our foundation formulas these days, but yeah, I just feel like my face, it's set itself. Like, I don't know if that's even a thing. I've got the energy nose. What? Okay, so I'm just gonna really lightly dust some of this really gross looking setting powder on my face. Probably full of bacteria. I mean, look at that, guys. What in the world happened to her? I just don't know. Okay, so I have this powder blush, and I also have the contouring palette. The contouring palette does feature what looks to be a blush in it, but I think seeing as we've got the powder blush, I'm going to try the powder blush and then the contour from this palette. Okay, so this is the O.TWO.O Rose Gold Contouring Palette Contour. Oh, that's the French part. The shade 801. Also, this claims to be vegan and cruelty-free. Or is it? No, it's cruelty-free, not vegan. Sorry, guys. Cruelty-free. Also, I feel like this kind of coral shade would go really beautifully with my eye look today. Oh, but I've got this blush. Like, I'm a bit torn. Like, which one do I use? Or should I just postpone the decision and just go in with contour? Let's do it. I mean, really, that just about sums up my decision-making abilities. So, okay, this contour looks to be very cool-toned indeed. The other powder in there looks to be like a setting powder, but unfortunately, like, I mean, oh, what a waste. I could have used her to set my face today, but that didn't happen because I'm a dumbass. Just contour. Oh, wow, she's kind of dark, guys. And she's actually surprisingly warm-toned as well. Like, you know, earlier I said she was cool-toned. She ain't. She looks very kind of, like, dare I say, orange. Okay, so let's just, I'm just blending her out with the optimism of somebody that hopes that this will work. She's very pigmented, which is great, or not so great maybe for a contour. I'd definitely say the shade in the pan is quite deceptive. I'm actually going to tap off the excess here, and we're just going to go in. Oh my gosh, she's very pigmented, which actually, you know, for contour is not necessarily what I want. I prefer being able to like build up a bit to my awful contouring look, you know what I mean? You know what I'm going to do, because this side is looking terrible. I'm just going to go back in with my sponge to just kind of try and disguise it a little bit. Okay, so that looks better. So I'm going to just, okay, carry on over here. I mean, it's blending out nicely. It's just the shade really that I think is a bit off for me. But I mean, if you like a warmer tone kind of contour, I think she's good. It's still a disaster, but you know what? We're just going to go with it. Oh my gosh, look, see what I mean? Oh my gosh, the lady is a vamp, like really. She's blending out really nicely. So that's something, you know, definitely something. I just feel like as opposed to giving me like a structured kind of contoured look, she's giving me more sunburn kind of vibes at the moment, which is not the look, you know, it's just not the look. Okay, so in terms of the formula, I would definitely say that she's very pigmented. She is very easy to blend, but we can't ignore the fact that she's pretty dark and also pretty warm toned. For me, it's a pass because I mean, not just based on the shade, because at the end of the day, you know, I'm kind of testing the formulas, not the shade, but I mean, I picked this, so I'm to blame for picking this shade. But I mean, she does look kind of cool toned in the pan, but she looks kind of dark in the pan as well. So yeah, I'm blaming myself for the shade. So next we're going to jump right into the powder blush. So this is in the shade 03, and it just says the ultimate authority in blush. I like it. She is strong, independent and capable. O.TWO.O offers the industry's most iconic shades for cheeks. Okay. Is that actually said by anyone other than O.TWO.O? We just don't know. Silky texture in matte and shimmering shades. Micronized powder ensures soft, blendable application, meets every colour need. Okay, great. Hope I've got the shimmery one, but she's matte, so she's matte. So this is what she looks like. One thing that I've not mentioned yet is that I always do think that O.TWO.O products are presented beautifully. They obviously do put some thought and time and money into their packaging, which for an extremely like affordable brand I think is great. So she looks really pretty. She's very, very light. So my plan is, let's try this one out and then we can maybe move on to the more corally kind of sheeny blush, because that's one my heart is actually like reaching out for at the moment. But we're going to go in with this one. So okay, let's just pop a little bit on. Watch this be the most pigmented blush ever. Okay. Oh my gosh, I feel like, wow, you get a lot of powder. Like, oh, well, I mean, she's called the powder blush. Oh my gosh, look, wow, wow. Okay, right, let's do a test on the other side. I'm going to go in with like, you know, barely any. And I'm going to tap off the excess. Can we get her to not look so OTT? Okay, so I like it. I like it. I definitely went overboard on this side. It's not necessarily like super pigmented, but I just think that it's a very kind of fine powder kind of blush, in the sense that it seems to break up very easily. So I think, you know, when you put your brush in there, you actually pick up a lot of product, as we kind of witnessed. So I definitely feel like you just kind of go in very gently and then just tap off the excess, and that's probably how you'll get the best out of this blush, because this side looks like a train wreck, and this side, you know, it looks nice. Go back in with the sponge again. I might just go in with like a little bit more of the foundation just over my cheeks, because like I don't think that will be a disaster, and it'll enable us to have a you know, kind of, I don't know, we'll be going back to the base. Back to the base, back to the base. I do really like this actually, but I just think you need a very light hand with her. But she's beautiful and I really like the shade. So this one is, it's a win for me. Okay, so we're going to go back in just with a little bit of the foundation, just so that I can kind of neutralise, you know, the cheeks. I barely put any setting powder on today, so I'm hoping that I'm not going to have like any strange situations, you know, from putting blush on over my powder. Oh no, but I've put it over a blush, which is powder, and contour, which is a powder. So, oh, I could be in for some trouble here, guys. Okay, so I applied a bit of lip gloss, and I've just sprayed a little bit of the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist, and we are now going to go in with the blush from the contouring palette. This one looks to be a beautiful shade of, oh wow, wow, she's like an orangey gold. So, oh gosh, do you know what? I'm just expecting this to be the most pigmented blush ever. So I'm going to go in like super, super light. I'm just going to get what I hope is a clean, no, I'm not going to use that one. I don't think she's clean. Okay, I think this brush is clean, so I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to go in so lightly. I mean, the lightest I've ever been into anything. And I'm going to tap off. Okay, so I can kind of see a little bit of like orangey gold on my cheeks. So, okay, I'm just going to going in again. Let me put my light on actually. Okay, so I put my light on just so that you can see her in her full glory. Oh my gosh. So she's just like, I mean, she's pretty actually. She is kind of golden with a hint of orange. Like I've not got anything like her in my collection, and I'm not saying that's like a good thing. Like there's probably a reason why I don't have anything like her in my collection. She's not terrible, and I actually quite like the warm glow that she's kind of, you know, giving off. Oh, by the way, yes, my wing is a fucking disaster. This one worked out well, but this one, letting the side down, like really. Let's just ignore that. I'm going to pop her on the other side, against my better judgment, I mean, really. I wouldn't say she's kind of like an everyday, for me anyway, she's not like an everyday, like I don't think I'd be reaching for her all the time, but she's kind of pretty. think that she would look really, really good on like tan skin, darker skin tones, olive skin. But I just think me with fair skin, it's just something new for me, and that's not a bad thing at all. It's good to try new things, but it looks a bit clown-like. I mean, there, I've said it. It looks a bit clown-like. She's not terrible, but I mean, the main thing that I've got from this palette is it's super pigmented. It's kind of quirky. It's definitely not what I expected. None of those things are necessarily bad. I just don't think that it's for me. Like the colour story within this palette, I definitely can't see that I would be reaching for this. I don't think there's anything at all like negative to say about the actual formula. It's just a personal preference that I just don't think this palette is one that I would reach for. The formula is good, it's just that it's not my cup of tea. Okay, so we're going to finish off the video today with going into the highlighting trio that I've had for ages. My favourite shade is definitely this gold one. In fact, it's the only shade that I actually wear from the palette, but I'll just... Oh, see what I mean? Like even this, like everything's pigmented. That's what I will say for the O.TWO.O brand. Everything's pigmented apart from the foundation. I really like this highlight. It's really, really pretty. Can you see? She's very, very glowy, very fabulous. Okay, so whenever I test out foundation here on my channel, I believe that to really get to know foundation, you have to like really kind of, you know, wear it across at least a couple of days and like test it out. So I am going to suspend my opinion over the foundation just for now. I'm going to be trying this out a bit more, and I will add an update at the end of this video, so kind of stay tuned if you want to see that. But so far I like it. Again, I just feel like I just sound like a broken record, but it's not really like my personal preference. Oh god, how many times have I said the phrase personal preference? I need a t-shirt, like literally. Okay, so I really like this powder blush. I think the colour's so pretty. This would be like a staple kind of blush that I just think would complement any kind of look that you've got going on. She's very pigmented, use a light hand, but she is very impressive. I really like her. I think my favourite thing so far, because I've not really got to know the foundation inside out yet, was the sponge. This is such a close dupe. If you've been wanting to try the Microfibre sponge by Juno, or if you've just been wanting to try out a really good sponge, I would definitely recommend that you get one. Hello there. So it is, I think 2 days later. Oh my gosh, I have no idea of time anymore, but it's a couple of days after I did the first impression, and I wanted to come back and give you an update on the Drop foundation by O.TWO.O. This is really always really awkward, because like you're seeing the video as one, as if it's happening like in one go, but I filmed the video like a couple of days ago. Since then, so many things have happened. I had a major meltdown yesterday at work because I got scammed, and I literally thought that there was an arrest warrant out to get me and the police were on their way. I will tell the story properly another time. I have worn this foundation yesterday, and I'm wearing it again today. I really, really like it on camera. I think in pictures it looks really, really good. I think the shade is perfect. I enjoy how easily it goes on. It's super comfortable because it's such a kind of a liquidy product. All of that sounds really, really good, doesn't it? But the problems start when you really look up close. I feel like my pores are crudely kind of highlighted. You know, you can see each and every one of them. You know, my nose, around my nose. Also, it looks kind of dry up on my chin. I would definitely say that this gives you a natural finish. It's not kind of dewy, it's not matte, it's just somewhere in the middle. I think that this will be a great foundation. I feel like I'm always saying this, and I feel like it kind of goes without saying, but I feel like this will be a really good foundation for someone that maybe doesn't have a lot of texture on their skin, because as we can see with me, it is definitely kind of emphasizing my pores and texture. However, you know, if I sit back here, I think it's great. Does it give you a lot of coverage? No. I have kind of tested that theory out. So yesterday I actually applied 2 layers of this, and the coverage really was not greatly improved from what I've got just from one layer. Also, just one thing that I need to mention that's a bit unfortunate, but you know, like when I first tested this out and I said it looked a bit curdled, like it's still doing that crazy curdled thing that it loves to do. I have been like shaking this up when I've applied it, but for some reason it just looks very kind of separated, which is a little bit off-putting. I don't know, this is a really strange one. Do I love it as much as the Miss Rose, is it the natural, I've got it right here, the purely natural foundation, or the You Can Be natural foundation? No, I would definitely recommend those two over this one. However, I do think this one's okay. I mean, I'll probably never wear it again, honestly, but I don't think it's terrible. Like from back here, it looks great. Say if I ran out of all my other foundations and this was the only one, I'd be quite happy to wear it in the video. I'd even be happy wearing it out and about, but I wouldn't reach for it if there were other foundations around that I liked. I also did have a couple more updates for you. So this morning I wanted to give the contour palette another go because I felt I was a little bit harsh on it, and also I felt like I just went in totally heavy handed, and also I wanted to try out the creamy kind of almost setting powder shindig in the middle. So this morning I set my face using this powder. I went in with a very light hand because I learnt my lesson, and I must say I really liked it. It actually seemed to provide a bit of coverage. I also used the contour again, and I used it with a different brush. This one, oh my gosh, I thought I couldn't find it then. So I used it with this brush. This is a lot less dense than the brush that I used in the first impression. It has more kind of flexibility to it, and it's kind of softer as well. So I used this and I just like very lightly dipped in and then blended, and I actually think it looks so much better today. I will definitely use these two shades. I still am not really so hyped up about the kind of the blush kind of shade. I definitely feel like I will get some use out of this palette, which is really good, but I just have to really be sure to use the lightest of all of the light hands, like really. So I also used the powder blush again today, which is what I've got on right now. I feel like my highlight is kind of taking center stage, so I know you probably can't really see much of this blush, but I really do like it. Again, it's very powdery, it breaks up so easily. She's super pigmented, so you only need the tiniest amount. I feel like O.TWO.O the most pigmented brand on AliExpress. Like, I've not really tried any of their eyeshadows. I need to really get on that, I think. But also, guys, I just wanted to throw something else into the end of the video. I know that this video is like an O.TWO.O scented video, but I just have to sing the praises of my Novu what is it, the 3-dimensional highlighting powder. So this is the highlight that I've gotten today. Oh, and she is beautiful. I absolutely love her. I just want to try and provide more updates to you, because I'm very well aware that I try out a load of makeup, because I mean that's what I love to do, but I'll try out something, I'll either love it or hate it or just not be sure, and then off it goes, and then you never see it again. And I feel like I want to try and be a bit more like updatey, you know, keeping everyone in the loop. So, oh my gosh, I fucking love this. I think it's great. I'm going to be doing a video soon where I'm going to be testing out some kind of dupes, so AliExpress dupes of more expensive makeup, and I feel like this is definitely a dupe for the MAC mineralized skin finish. So I'm going to be doing that video soon. I hope that you're having a wonderful day today. Thank you so much for watching. Also, thank you to O.TWO.O for very kindly sending me this makeup to try out, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.